So today I'm going to speak with you about a classic tool which helped thousands of companies make billions of dollars, and hopefully this tool will also help you to make a lot of money. And if not, I hope it can help you to manage properly your careers, maybe your businesses, your projects, and definitely I think you can make use of it during this business week. I'm going to speak about the delegating. Well, what is actually delegating? Any ideas? Anybody? Exactly, tasks. So, you know, I don't like scientific definitions. I prefer simplicity. So I like this one. Delegating is to let somebody do things for us. Is it simple? Yes. It's very informative too. So what can we delegate? First of all, of course, tasks. Again? Not working? Yeah? Okay. So tasks. What else? What can we delegate by delegating tasks? Exactly, responsibilities. Yes, that's right, authority. Responsibilities. We also delegate duties, and we delegate a right to decide how can we accomplish these tasks, and that's why we also delegate responsibilities. And when we normally speak about delegation, we think of delegating inside the company. But we also can delegate some tasks outside the company. Then we speak about something we call outsourcing. So why do we outsource? What do you think? Any ideas? Yes, exactly. What else? Well, normally people think that we outsource because of the complexity of the task, but it's not really the truth in all cases. Most of all, we want to outsource the tasks because we lack of resources, or we want to save some resources. For example, human resources. We need a professional trained crew. We lack of time, maybe knowledge. In some cases, maybe connections. Yes? This is why we delegate them outside the company. But also we can save money, especially when it comes to a limited amount of work. For example, in case of a little company working for a bigger company and producing, issuing, let's say, 10 or 20 invoices a month, we can easily outsource the accounting services in that case. Or, for example, when we speak of a single-time project, single shot. Let's say you want to print 1,000 of leaflets, and normally you would need to buy a special printing equipment for that, hire a guy who will make a design of this leaflet and eventually print them all. And this investment will normally cost you a couple of $1,000s. But if you outsource it, you can have a stack of these leaflets for a couple of $100s. One other upside of outsourcing is also a transfer of responsibility and risks. Now let's look at the delegating from a wider perspective. What if we incorporate delegation into the core idea of the business? For example, Facebook. Everybody knows Facebook. So Facebook kind of delegates us the task to create content, so the other users can make use of it. Or for example, YouTube. YouTube is offering a digital platform where users can post their films, their movies, so the other users could enjoy them. So now we have those three levels of delegation: inside the company, outside the company, outsourcing, and also in corporation, the idea of delegating into the core business idea. But there are also companies which went a step ahead, and they utilized the idea of delegation in even more sophisticated way. For example, Uber. Everybody knows Uber. This company kind of delegates a business opportunity for thousands of potential taxi drivers so they can serve the end client. They delegate, so they create those possibilities and share them with us. So this is exactly the formula my company, Port of Gdańsk, utilizes too. But before I tell you about my company, I'd like to stress one more important thing. Without this thing, delegation makes no sense. In the case of Facebook, it is a digital platform. Without this platform, Facebook does not exist. The same is with YouTube and Uber. And this thing is the key asset of the company. There are many types of key assets. For example, real estate, or it could be a business, money. This could also be a brilliant idea. Sorry. And what is a key asset of Port of Gdańsk? What do you think? Do you have any ideas what is port? Excuse me? Water. Yeah. Close, but not really. Close. Water, okay. So, the main asset of Port of Gdańsk and any other port is its infrastructure. When we say infrastructure, we think of special physical improvements which serves 4 transportation modes: water transport, railway transport, road transport, and pipelines. So, what about this infrastructure? What namely is a part of this infrastructure? What it consists of? It consists of quays, jetties, wharves, breakwaters, fairways, port channel from the water side, and roads, railroads, bridges, parking lots, different facilities, pipelines from the land side. This is the key asset of the Port of Gdańsk and any other port. So now, when we know this, we can tell about the main function of any port. And this function is to enable transport, handling, that is, loading and reloading, and storage of goods, we call it cargo, which is supported by those 4 transportation modes. Now, you know what? We don't do this. We don't do this by ourselves. We delegate this to other companies. We delegate this to other guys who can do this job for us. We call these guys operators. So we kind of we share a business opportunity for those guys who make money using our infrastructure and share their profits with us. Our minor business activity is also to provide special ship services, such as waste collection and utilizing it, such as providing electricity and water on board. And you know what? We don't do this by ourselves. We delegate it to the third-party companies. We delegate this to the other guys. Port of Gdańsk, also being a manager of the infrastructure, is responsible for its maintenance. And you know what? There are other guys who are doing this for us. So we normally delegate these tasks for other companies which maintain this infrastructure in our behalf. Now you can ask, how effective can this formula be? Well, actually it is very effective. Port of Gdańsk, being a state-owned company, generates about 6% of Polish state budget. This is a lot of money. Also, every job in Port of Gdańsk kind of creates 10 more jobs in a port area. Remember those operators? So, and every job in the port area generates another 10 jobs in the city of Gdańsk. So it totals over 30,000 jobs from the activity of the port. Now let's go back to the infrastructure. Sometimes this infrastructure needs to be extended. That means that we need to build something new, to build a new piece of infrastructure. The question is, can we spread this idea of delegation onto the investment project? And the answer is, of course, yes, we do. So now I would like to show you how perfectly this delegating works with the implementation of big investment projects. But before we go to the physical implementation phase of the project, we need to do our homework. First of all, we need to collect the input data and gather resources in order to prepare the project. By saying prepare the input data, we need to know what we actually have to build. Yes, what kind of project we will what kind of infrastructure we will build. So, and to know this, we have to describe the project goals. But to do this, we need to make a step back and first of all, determine the company's needs. The company's needs is normally written in a document which we call a strategy, which is based on an analysis of market dynamics. Port of Gdańsk also has its strategy, which is valid until 2027. And when we have this master plan, defining potential directions of development of the company, we have a list of potential projects, we can revise the goals of a certain project and then define again the project goals. When we do this, we can move on and try to elaborate a document which we call a concept, which will describe what actually needs to be done to accomplish those needs, those goals. For example, such a goal could sound like, to double handling capacity for containers in next 5 years. This is a project goal. So after we have done with the concept, we can make something we call feasibility study. Feasibility study is a complex document which is similar to a business plan, but is much more complex. It contains not only financial analysis, but also environmental, economical, legal. It contains your risk analysis, cost and benefit analysis, sensitivity analysis, and many, many other things. This document is very crucial because at this point we can define, will we launch this project or we're going to kill it? So this is what I mean by saying collect the input data. Now we know what we want to build. This is time to gather resources. There are two types of key resources: money and the team. So if we have some time, I will bring some details on those topics. So now we are ready to implement a physical side of the project. But also, don't forget to supervise. This is also your homework, and to evaluate the results in order to make some decisions. Corrective decisions. And remember one thing, this is actually a homework. You do not delegate. At this stage, you want to do this by yourself. This is actually so obvious because nobody will determine what you want to do. Nobody will tell you what you want to build, how you want to go on. You actually want to do this by yourself. There is one exception. Let me show you. This assess options and select the final project version. This is a feasibility study, and we would likely delegate this to a neutral company which will tell us if this project idea is okay or maybe not. Now we can go on and finally find ourselves in the implementation phase. And this is actually the phase when we also delegate those tasks. We have 3 steps. And first of all, we would like to have a technical design, and we announce a tender. We call it a tender, so-called public procurement procedure, when we select the mostly favorable company. Normally it's the cheapest one. So for a mid-sized project like worth, say, $100 million, this phase takes about 2 years to commit technical design and also acquire all necessary permits, including the building permit. After we have this documentation, we can announce another tender and select a general contractor. So this guy will build our infrastructure. This is also a time-consuming process, and normally will take from 2 to maybe 3, even 4 years for a mid-sized project. And also, parallel to this, we are selecting a technical supervisor. We called him supervisor engineer. So this guy commits a technical supervision over the construction process. We don't want to give hundreds of millions of dollars to some guy and tell him, okay, we will see you in 3 years. And hopefully you will build what we want you to build. We want to have somebody who will supervise him all the time. This is a very important function. And it normally consumes about no more than 5% of project's budget. So now, this is the big picture. First of all, the preparation phase. We delegate our tasks inside our company, building up a team. Next, the implementation phase. We delegate those tasks of physical implementation of the project to those 3 guys. And finally, we continue to delegate to outsource tasks of maintenance and ship service, but also we create a special business opportunities for guys who will make use of our infrastructure and share their profits with us. And don't forget about the supervision. This is not a technical supervision performed by supervisor engineer. This is a supervision over the whole process of implementation of this, of any project. Now, as you can see, business success is often to let somebody do things which will create business opportunities for others. So, and in this case, the good project is to organize an effective work of the first ones and hopefully not to be wrong with the needs of the latter. You can think of delegating as a simple tool of doing big things, which can save you a lot of time, sweat, blood, and money. Your persistence is very important. Your talents are great. Your hard work is great. But it's also wise and good to use the right tool. If you want to, for example, get from Gdańsk to Paris, don't be persistent. Don't walk. Delegate this to the airlines and take a plane. So use the right tool and you will hopefully succeed. Thank you very much.